Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome. So today we are going to do another series of lecture, chemistry of nucleic acid. So I'm going to share my slides. I hope you can all see my slides. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome. I hope you can all see my slides. Are you seeing my slides? Okay. So in today's class, we are going to look at the concept of nucleic acids. Nucleic acid. So nucleic acid is a macromolecules. When you said macromolecules, it means that they are large molecules. The word macro means big. It means it is a giant. It is a they are very big molecules, and that is what you call macromolecules. And we have so many macromolecules that are found in biological system, and examples of the macromolecules that are found in biological system include the nucleic acid, carbohydrates, proteins, lipid. They are all examples of macromolecules. So therefore, whenever we say macromolecule, it means that they are large. They are big molecules. They are very giant molecules, or you can call them molecules that have a higher molecular weights. That is what you call macromolecules. They are molecules that have high molecular weights, and these macromolecules, like for example, this nucleic acid, are found in all living organisms. It is present in all living organisms. So each and every living organism possesses nucleic acid. And of course, this nucleic acid contain or is a genetic materials, that contain a genes, and these genes genetic materials, or we call them informational, is one of the informational macromolecules. Why do we call it informational macromolecules? Because these macromolecules, nucleic acid, are usually involved in transmitting information from parent to their offspring. So that is why they are called genetics material. Humans, they are responsible for the traits and the characters that are found in humans. Like, for example, what I wanted to say here is, like, for example, the proteins that are found in the human body are usually uh, the traits and the characters that are coming from uh, the parent is usually due to these proteins. Like, for example, let me give example with let's say intelligence. Why are we intelligent? Why some people are intelligent while some people are not intelligent? Some people are not intelligent because there are what you call a neurotransmitters, and the neurotransmitters that we are producing, or the neurotransmitters that we are producing, is what actually make us to be intelligent. So the more you produce the neurotransmitters in your brain, then the more likelihood that you are going to be intelligent. Like another example, melanin. Melanin is a protein that is also produced from this nucleic acid. So the higher the content, or the higher the amount of the melanin your body expressed or your body produce, the darker the color you have. And the lower the concentration of this melanin, it means that the more fair your skin will be. So all these informations are there resided, or are there sites in the nucleic acid that is in the DNA of a living organisms. So, as we said, there are genes, like for example, in humans, there are like 25,000 genes, and each of these genes are responsible for producing proteins. So, these proteins that we are talking about are responsible for a traits or characters that we usually inherit from our parent. Like for example, intelligence. Intelligence is coming from is also an inherited characters. So usually we inherit intelligence from our parents. So if our parents are intelligent, it means that there is a likelihood that we are going to be intelligent because there are genes from our parent that we inherit, and that genes is responsible for the intelligence of our parent. And of course, if our parents are not intelligent, it means that we, as a child, we are not going to be intelligent, and this is actually due to the genes that are possessed or that are present in the parent. Skin color, height, size of eyeballs. There are many phenotypic characters. That's the physical appearance, and the genotypic characters that we inherited from our parents. And all these are due to these nucleic acids. So nucleic acids are responsible for all our traits, all our characters. So first we say that macromolecules, nucleic acid are macromolecules, meaning that they are bigger molecules and they are found in every living organisms, and they are considered as a genetics materials because these informations are coming, or we as a child, we are getting information or trait or characters from our parent through this genetics material. And how do they this genetics material operate is because they have a genes, and these genes are responsible for producing proteins, and the proteins are responsible for the traits and the trait or the characters we usually get from our parents. So that is why most of the characters that we are coming up with as a child, where are these nucleic acid materials are localized in a cell? Where do you get them in a cell? That is higher organisms like us. These nucleic acids are found in the nucleus, mitochondria, and chloroplasts. Like for example, plant have chloroplast. So they have their own DNA. And so also at the same time in human, we are example of eukaryotic organisms. So uh, we also have mitochondria. So generally in humans, DNA or the genetics material are found both in both in nucleus and mitochondria. And of course, plant have the nucleus, the mitochondria, and chloroplast. So we should know that these genetics material or these nucleic acid are found they are found both in they are found all in the nucleus. We have the DNA or the genetics material or the nucleic acid in the prokaryotic cell. This is a typical example of prokaryotic cells like a bacteria. So we have this genetic material in the nucleus prokaryotic organisms. So the nucleus of prokaryotic organisms is three. We have three locations. We have three locations where we usually have them. So we have the nucleus, chromosomes. There are histone protein and non-histone protein. So the DNA is tightly wrapped and twisted supercoiled with the histone protein. In fact, the DNA generally is very huge biomolecules. It's a very huge biomolecules. When you say it's a huge biomolecules, it means that it is a very long biomolecules. But it's usually found to be tightly packed and wrapped with the histone protein. In fact, if you can take the whole of the DNA of, like for example, human DNA, and stretch it side by side or end to end, so they and stretch it and then you just end to end, it will give you like a 6 feet, and 6 feet is a huge length. So you should understand that DNA is thin, and it is thin but very long, but it is tightly coiled, and super coiled with the histone protein. Okay, so now I hope you are seeing the screen. So the next thing is the nucleotide that we are talking. Sorry, the nucleic acid. So generally, nucleic acid have their building blocks. There are building blocks that make up this nucleic acid. So when we said building blocks, it means that they are a smaller material. There are smaller material that usually found in a cell. There are smaller molecules. There are smaller molecules that are usually found in a cell, and their main functions is to actually serve as a building blocks for the DNA. So nucleotides, they are like a smaller, or they are the blocks that are used in constructing the nucleic acids. So that is they are made up of a building blocks. And the building blocks of this nucleic acid, they are called nucleotides. And the main function of this nucleotide is actually to produce, or to join together to produce what you call. So I share the slide again. So the building blocks for the nucleic acids are nucleotides, which actually joins together with an input of energy to generate what we call a DNA. And then, so what are the components? What are the components of this nucleotide? Nucleotides are made up of three major components. The nucleotides are made up of three major components, and this component of nucleotide include phosphates, sugar, and nitrogenous bases. These are the three major components of the nucleotide. So first, we have a nucleic acid, and this nucleic acid is made up of a building block, and the building blocks is nucleotides. And these nucleotides are also made up of three major components. And these three major components of nucleotide include phosphates, sugar, and nitrogenous base. And nitrogenous base. So these are the nitrogenous bases. We have four major nitrogenous bases that are found in DNA. So generally, these nitrogenous bases are classified into two. We have what we call purines and pyrimidines. We have purines and pyrimidines. So the purines, we have adenine and guanine, and the pyrimidines, we have thymine of nitrogenous bases that are found in nucleotides, purines and pyrimidines. So the purines, we have adenine and guanine, and then thymine and cytosine are found under pyrimidines. But of course, pyrimidines, we have three pyrimidines. It's not only thymidine, it's not only thymine and cytosine, we also have uracil. But uracil is not usually found in DNA, rather. So generally, we have two basic nucleic acids. We have DNA and RNA. So the DNA and RNA, they have some different structural arrangement as well as the structural composite. So pyrimidines, as I said, we have three pyrimidines. We have thymine and we have cytosine. But thymine and cytosine are found in DNA, while thymine and uracil are found in RNA. We have DNA and RNA. So the sugars that are found in DNA and RNA are of different types. Like for example, in DNA, the sugar that found in DNA is deoxyribose, while the sugars that are found in RNA is ribose sugar. It is what? A ribose sugar. So the next thing that we are going to look at, so as I said, these are the two basic types of nucleic acid that are found. We have DNA and we have RNA. So DNA is generally double-stranded, while RNA is a single-stranded biomolecules. It is a single-stranded biomolecules. And of course, as I said, in RNA, look at this. These are the nitrogenous bases that are found in RNA. We have adenine, we have guanine, we have cytosine, we have uracil. So these are the nitrogenous bases that are found in RNA, and so also at the same time, RNA is single-stranded. Then the next one is DNA, and this DNA is a double-stranded, and the nitrogenous being we have cytosine and then thymine. So these are the nucleotides that are found both in DNA ribose, while the sugars found in RNA is ribose sugar. So we have nitrogenous bases, we have nitrogenous bases and their derivatives that are found in that is in the ribosome. So when you have base plus phosphate, sorry, when you have base, that is nitrogenous base plus sugar, it will give us what they call nucleosides. So there is what they call nucleoside and nucleotides. So what is the difference between nucleoside and nucleotides? In nucleotides, while nucleoside is just only sugar, so sugar plus nitrogenous base is what they call phosphates and the sugar. So that is why here we have ribonucleoside. So when you have adenine with ribose sugar, it's changed to adenosine. When you have guanine plus sugar, which is the sugar is ribose, is called guanosine. Cytosine plus the ribose sugar, we have cytidine. Uracil, why are you complaining with the slides? So when you have uracil plus ribose sugar, it will give us uridine. When you have thymine plus sugar, it will give us thymidine. And then of course we have a ribonucleotide. So in the case of ribonucleotide, apart from the nitrogenous base and the sugar, phosphate group is also added. So when you have one phosphate added to the nucleoside, it will give us monophosphate. And of course, when you added two phosphate, we have diphosphate. When you have three phosphate, we have triphosphate. So in a situation where you have three phosphate added to adenosine, it will now change to ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. It also applies to guanine or guanosine. When phosphate is added, we have guanosine monophosphate, and of course, if two phosphate are added in the guanosine, we have guanosine triphosphate. And then so also at the same time we have deoxy, we have what we call deoxyguanosine. So when you say deoxyguanosine is usually found. Okay, someone is asking about the nucleoside and nucleotides. Nucleoside is when you have only sugar and nitrogenous base, while nucleotides is when you have all the three components, nitrogenous base, sugar, and phosphate. So that is the difference between nucleotides and nucleosides. So for example, we have a ribonucleoside in the case of RNA, and we have deoxyribonucleoside or deoxyribonucleoside. So ribonucleoside are found in RNA. So if you have adenine plus ribose sugar, it will change from adenine to adenosine, meaning that a phosphate group is added. Then if you have guanine plus ribose sugar, it will give you guanosine. And then also in the case of deoxyribose sugar or deoxyribonucleoside is when you have the nitrogenous base plus the deoxy sugar. It will give us deoxyribonucleoside. So if you have adenine plus deoxyribose sugar, it will be like deoxyadenosine. If you have guanine plus deoxyribose, it will give us deoxyguanosine. So in a situation where you have deoxynucleotide, deoxynucleotide or deoxyribonucleotide, it means when you have a phosphate group attached to the existing deoxyribonucleosides. So for example, if you added phosphate to deoxyadenosine, it will now change to deoxyadenosine monophosphate. And of course, if you have two phosphates, we have deoxyadenosine diphosphate. If it is three, it will change to triphosphate. So ladies and gentlemen, this is just a basic concept of nucleic acid that you need to understand at this point. Number one, first, what you need to understand, number one is what are these nucleic acid? First, the nucleic acid, they are large molecules. They are large macromolecules. It means that they are big molecule and they are found in every cell or in every living organism, in every acid. And their main function is that they transfer genetics information from parent to their offspring. If your parent are tall, so there is likelihood that you will be tall because you are going to inherit that genetics information from your parent. And maybe additionally is if your parents are intelligent because your parents are having a genes for the intelligence, then you are also going to inherit that intelligence due to this nucleic acid. And we also talk about the location of this nucleic acid. We said that the nucleic acid are found in the case of eukaryotic organism. It is found in the nucleus. It is also found in the mitochondria and chloroplast of plant. Then, of course, we have prokaryotic organisms. So for the prokaryotic organisms, their own is located in the nucleoids. And then in addition, we now talk about what are the types of the nucleic acid. So we have two basic types of nucleic acid, DNA and RNA. And this also nucleic acid, they are made up of a building blocks. There are smaller blocks that are used in constructing this nucleic acid. And these smaller blocks, we call them nucleotides. And of course, these nucleotides are made up of three major components. And these three major components of the nucleotides, we have what we call phosphate sugar. Sorry, we have phosphate, we have sugar, that is pentose sugar, 5-carbon sugar, and then finally we have nitrogenous base. And the nitrogenous base, we also said that is divided into two. We have purines and pyrimidines. So purines, we have adenine and guanine, while pyrimidines are three. We have thymine, we have uracil, and we have cytosine. So for the cytosine, cytosine is found in DNA, while uracil is found in RNA. And of course, another difference is that the DNA is double-stranded while RNA is single-stranded. So ladies and gentlemen, this is actually the basic concept of nucleic acids for this session. And we are going to have time and also uh, try to look at there is, I think, toward the end of the lecture, we are also going to talk more on this nucleic acid. This is just a basic introduction. So Duneti Hannah is asking about staff, please more explanation on functions of nucleic acid. So what I'm saying is generally nucleic acid, their main function is they are transporting genetics material, or they are transporting genetics information from parent to their offspring. Because in this nucleic acid there are genes. And of course, remember that the basic and the fundamental unit of heredity is genes. So genes are what actually carry information from parent to their offspring. So if your parents are intelligent, then there is a likelihood that your parents are having that genes for intelligence, and you inherit that genes from your parent, and you're also going to be intelligent unless if there is a variation. And then secondly, another important aspect of this nucleic acid is we also use it in like DNA typing. Like for example, in forensic sciences, if there is any crime, you can use the DNA because the DNA of a child and that of the parent via the similar pattern. So you can use it and do like a kind of genotyping testing. Or yes, genotypic. Genotyping. We call it DNA genotyping. So we use it in forensic sciences. We can also use it in even determination of fraternity. Yeah, because in the current modern sciences, we no longer use fingerprint. Sometimes it is advisable to use the DNA fingerprint. It's the most robust as well as uh, more precise. So, is there any question, Jamila Dauda? Any question? Is there any question? So I think if there is no any question, if there is no questions, then we are going to stop here. Then we meet in the next class on Saturday. Thank you. Okay, someone is asking about explanation on the nitrogenous basis. Okay, Sophia, what actually happened is that we said that the DNA is made up of blocks. It's like there are the blocks that are used in constructing nucleic acid, and these blocks are nucleotides. But the nucleotide is made up of three major components: phosphate, nitrogenous bases, and the sugar. But for the nitrogenous bases, we said that we have two types of nitrogenous bases. We have purines and pyrimidines. We have purines and pyrimidines. So for the purines, we said that we have adenine and we have guanine. And then for the pyrimidines, we have what you call uracil, thymine, and cytosine. And that is all. So thank you very much to